Was hören? Ja? Auch noch oben? Okay, gut. Dann testen wir mal ab, ob ihr, wenn ihr Menschen hier sind, die Bock auf ein Shirt haben und sich schon auf F1 2010 freuen, möchte ich mal ein bisschen lernen haben hier. Also, ist hier jemand da, der F1 2010 ganz geil findet? Ja, Moment. Also, das ist ein bisschen wenig, ne? Viele Reihe. Viele wollen andere Sachen spielen. Also, wie sieht es aus hier? F1 2010 Fans hier! Sehr gut. Und den Applaus könnt ihr auch jetzt weitermachen, denn wir haben Menschen hier, die extra angereist sind aus England. Meine Damen und Herren, bitte gebt einen riesen Applaus vom Entwickler Codemasters, der wirklich sehr, sehr coole Spiele macht hier heute da. Einen riesen Applaus für Rich Eddie!
Hello! Good afternoon!
Okay. I forgot about the trailer. Okay, wir haben erstmal jedes Mal, the video, okay. Jedes Mal vergesst es wieder, was zu sagen, weil ich mich so reinrede hier. Also erste Bilder, bevor ihr euch anspielen könnt, hier auch für euch in der Schlange. Hier kommt der Trailer zu F1 2010. Bitteschön.
Okay, that's it, that's F1 2010. We think that's going to be the greatest race on earth. It's coming this September. PlayStation 3, 360 and PC. We've come all the way over from England to show you it. We've been working on it for 2 years. This game features all the cars, all the drivers, all the tracks from this year's fantastic season. And this is the world exclusive first public showing of the game. To take you through it, we're going to show you all to you today. Please welcome Codemasters Studios, senior producer Paul Gill and games designer Stephen Hood.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm the designer, the chief game designer on Formula 1 2010. Delighted to bring it here today to show you guys. We're trying to do something different with Formula 1. It's not been great for the past few years, let's face it. There's always more that you can do to video games. We're massive racing fans, we're massive Formula 1 fans. There's a ton of ideas that we wanted to get back into the racing series. We wanted to turn it around and make it really popular again. There's no reason why it cannot be an absolutely massive game. So here, for example, let's just go straight to it. Our idea for Formula 1 2010 is all about be the driver, live the life. Be the driver being all the things that you understand on the racetrack, competing against the drivers you recognise, the drivers you've seen on TV. But live the life. This is the new thing that we're bringing to it. It's entirely realistic. When you watch races these days, they have like an hour and a half build up before the actual event. You get all the interviews, you see the drivers chatting, there's lots of stories and rumours, you see the celebrities walking around the paddock, the drivers in the background. We're doing exactly the same thing in 2010. So here, for example, you start off at the beginning of your career, you're introduced to the world of Formula 1 in a press conference, you're the new guy, everybody's interested in what you've got to say, what your expectations are for the beginning of the year. But then you start off with one of the new teams, you're at Lotus, you're the rookie, nobody really recognises you, there's hardly anybody hanging around your paddock lane here. You can see your teammate talking to the couple of engineers you'll end up recognising from the garage crew. Over here we've got two media guys, a cameraman, an interviewer. They're not particularly interested in speaking to you at the moment. There's hardly anybody hanging around there. But when you become really popular, maybe you're starting to spark rumours of going to other teams, you're doing really well for Lotus, more and more people are hanging around the paddock lane, they're really eager to speak to you. You use your interactions with the media in order to try and engineer moves to other teams. You can subtly hint that maybe you'd like to go to Mercedes in the future. All the recent performance and success at the team is down to you, or maybe you want to try and envelop the team in some of that success, trying to build up their morale so that they actually improve the car throughout the year. You have your agent that resides in the driver's room here. She's really your eyes and ears as to what's going on. She sometimes says to you things like, you've got to be careful of what you say to the media, you've not been doing well in the past couple of races, maybe your contract's not going to get reviewed at the end of the year, Ferrari are interested in talking to us, all these kind of things. So I think Paul's just going to take us onto one of the tracks now. I don't know what we're going to pick, probably one of his favourite circuits. I'd love to drive Montreal, please. We put an awful lot of effort into the driving side as well. You've probably seen many of the videos. We're really quite proud of the weather system. Many racing developers avoid all these kind of things. It's very, very intensive for the machines. It's a very hard thing to get right. It's more than just the look as well. All the weather system feeds back into the game handling, so the different tyre compounds, the handling of the car, the temperature of the engine, the ambient temperature of the track, all these kind of bits and pieces. But we're really trying to replicate what goes on in the real world of Formula 1. But races in F1 are not just about perfect conditions, it's about dealing with the car that you've got, trying to manage the car. It's an extremely precious machine. You don't want to wear the engines out too quickly. We have the engine limit rules for the year. You want to conserve fuel early on in the race, all these kind of things that I think you really start to get used to them when you're watching on TV. Paul and I have already got slightly different driving strategies. He always goes hell for leather at the beginning. I turn the engine down, try and conserve something, trying to play the intelligent game. Sometimes it comes off A&B great. But beyond that, you've got things like the tyre system in here. It's not really complex if you don't know anything about Formula 1. You don't have to be the garage crew, you don't have to be the mechanic and the race engineer yourself. You're part of a professional team. That's the impression we're trying to get across here. So you've got the garage crew that you start recognising working around the cars. You can see your teammate over there in career mode. You can access him, compare your stats. Have you been beating him in qualifying? Have you got more points than him? Who's leading the championship? Who's considered the number one in the team? He's your main rival. Your teammate's always the guy that you want to be. If you become the number one in the team, you can start determining the development direction of the car. So for example, you've got slightly different driving styles to your teammate. If you become number one, you can even skew it towards you and get more performance out of the car. Model all the steering wheels, animations on the steering wheels as well when you're talking radio, dialing things up, dialing things down. You've got the car monitor in front of you here. This is the stuff you see on TV all the time. The driver sitting in the garage, looking at the car monitor, changing settings on the car. What we're trying to do is, from the be the driver perspective, it's about influencing the car setup rather than having to do everything yourself. It's already predetermined, but you can kind of influence it during practice sessions. Okay, we'll go on to race now, and I suspect I'll be driving, will I? Why not? Right, hand you over to Paul Gill, senior producer on Formula 1, whilst I do some driving.
As you can see, we've tried to keep everything persistent, tried to keep loading down to a minimum, so your time spent in the garage is really your window to the racetrack. Everything's loaded in there all the time, so basically 200 people residing in the pits. Anyone can come into the garage at any point and your crew are always there to receive you. Little introduction sequence, just trying to point out who's your main rival. At the beginning of the game, it's always your teammate. You're trying to establish yourself as the number one driver within the team. That